Coming up on the Paper Talk today, we've had a here we go. Matheus Cunha is heading to Manchester United. We knew it was going to happen anyway, but now we've had it confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. So let's get into it. Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford and the weather's all right, man. It's quite sunny, so you won't need your parkers. Loads of stories to get through, so we will crack on. Before we do, though, make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. We're almost there, man. We're almost at 800,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button. Let's get to the 800,000 mark. The big story, the breaking news, is the here we go for Matheus Cunha coming from Wolves to Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano, the man himself, posted this on X or tweeted last night, I think it was about 11:30 at night, saying that we've got the here we go. Matheus Cunha is going to come. Terms agreed, deal agreed, all good stuff. He's going to come to Old Trafford. I think it's till 2030 with an option of another year to 2031, of course. Now, we know the fee is 62.5 million. That was the buyout clause. We heard weeks and not months ago from the likes of Laurie Whitwell on Inside United who said, look, Manchester United don't need to sell players to buy Matheus Cunha. They don't need to get Champions League football, thankfully, to buy Matheus Cunha. The money is there. The deal is ready to be done. And now the season is over. The deal has been done. Matheus Cunha becoming the first summer signing for Manchester United, for Ruben Amorim. We heard from Ruben Amorim here yesterday, and he said, look, this season, he said about the season being a disaster. He said it wasn't good enough. And he reminded us, he said, we had a spell where I think we had 2 wins and a draw, and I said a storm is coming. He told us about this on the pitch yesterday. Thank you. On the pitch yesterday, he said, we've got one. He said, he reminded us that a storm is coming. And he was right. It was. Now, he said the storm is, we've been through the storm. He said the good times are going to come back. And Matheus Cunha will hopefully be a big part of that. A fantastic player. 21 goal involvements this season, I think he's got. I think he's at 15 goals, 6 assists, something like that in 33 games. Some people questioning I won't say his attitude. I hate using the word attitude, but his temperament, shall we say, even though that's almost the same thing, because he can get involved in a few things. He has got a bit of an edge to him. But I don't mind that. I don't mind someone who's got a little bit of an edge to him, who's a little bit tougher, a little bit more rough and ready. We need a little bit of that. Sometimes at Old Trafford, sometimes this Manchester United team has been too soft. Matheus Cunha, he's not soft. We know he's a talented lad. He's played very well here against Manchester United. But we can't just buy players because they played well against United. Otherwise, we won't buy half the league because we've been poor and everyone plays well against us. But you can see there's a player there. His numbers show that. Whenever you watch him, whenever I've watched Wolves against other teams as well, he always turns up. He's a right handful. And he's got some real quality as well. I'm looking forward to seeing Matheus Cunha playing for Manchester United. I expect him to fit into one of those 2 number 10 roles. But who knows, maybe he might even play as a false 9 or even as a 9. We'll have to wait and see. Get involved in the chat and the comments. Let us know what you think about that deal. What you think about Matheus Cunha. We've known this is going to happen, haven't we? There's no surprises here. I wasn't shocked when I saw the news. We've expected it. And now it's happened. I just hope now we can bring in some more additions to the squad because we need more than just Matheus Cunha. We need a few more, at least 3 more players this summer if we truly are going to move back up that table. Obviously, finishing 15th is unacceptable. 42 points is just unbelievable. If you'd have said that to me at the beginning of the season, I thought you were crazy. But this is where we are. Ruben Amorim said it himself. Now it's time to look forward. He said this season is in the past, and he's true. He's right, it is. It's all about next season, and Matheus Cunha can help us, hopefully, move forward and get back up that table, get to where Manchester United should be, which is challenging. I don't think we're going to get there just yet, but challenging for titles and getting back in the Champions League, not kicking around the bottom half of the table. Talking about challenging at the top, Aston Villa were very aggrieved with the decision to disallow Morgan Rogers' goal yesterday. I was surprised it was disallowed. I thought it was a goal when I saw it. It was at the other end of the pitch and my eyesight isn't great. But when I watched the replay as well, it's obvious there's no real mistake there. There's no foul there. But the referee had already blown his whistle, so VAR couldn't get involved. Morgan Rogers' goal was disallowed. He took the ball basically out of Bayende's hands, but it wasn't quite in his hands in the sense that he didn't have hold of the ball. It should have been a goal. Ends up costing Aston Villa. I think had that goal gone in, there's a good chance they would have got a point. I think they only needed a point to get Champions League football. Listen, I'll take any win I can get. I'm not going to moan or be too gutted that Aston Villa didn't get Champions League football because they had a goal disallowed against Manchester United that shouldn't have been disallowed. But I understand why they're annoyed, and I think they've made a complaint, a formal complaint to PGMOL about that decision, about the referee that was chosen and all the rest of it. And we'll wait and see what happens with that. But from a Manchester United point of view, it's actually quite refreshing for us to get a bit of the rub of the green with some decisions because, let's be honest, we haven't had that too often this season. So many times I've stood here or been in the studio moaning about decisions that have gone against us that shouldn't have done. This time it was one that we got away with, and Such is life, really, innit? Sorry, Villa fans, but these things happen. Didn't they get away with one a few years ago with Hawkeye? Didn't they end up staying up because of a Hawkeye mistake? Or am I getting that completely wrong? Get involved in the chat in the comments and give us a little bit of a reminder. One player that impressed me was Ayden Heaven, and he impressed the manager as well. I think the manager was speaking in glowing terms about Ayden Heaven yesterday. There's a player there, isn't there? This isn't new. I know we're talking about people talking the news, but the idea that Ayden Heaven is a good footballer and a fantastic defender isn't anything new. I've been very impressed with him. I was so gutted when he got that injury against Leicester because he'd been playing well, did well when he came on against Fulham, did well against Sociedad, did well in that first half and the beginning of the second half against Leicester, then picks up an injury that almost counts him out for the rest of the season. I think if it wasn't for that injury, I think he would have started in Bilbao. But let's not talk about Bilbao because I'll make myself clinically depressed. But he was praised by the managers, saying that basically this is the type of player we need. I think Ayden Heaven's got a bright future at Manchester United. And at £1 million, it could end up being an absolute bargain. That is one to sort of look at, and I think we're going to look back at and finally say Manchester United did a really good bit of business there, because we don't say that very often, do we? I want to just touch on something as well. There was a lot of noise yesterday. Mo Salah, I think, got 47 goal involvements for the season, I think it was. And people saying, oh, you know, he's equalled the record, and people saying about Alan Shearer's record. People talking about Andy Cole's record as well, because that's a record that Andy Cole got. I think it was 47 goal involvements in a season. Now, listen, you got that at Newcastle, so it's not exactly like I'm saying, oh, it's a Manchester United record. But Andy Cole never gets the credit he deserves. Andy Cole is never highlighted as one of the all-time Premier League goal-scoring greats, and he is. And I think we only ever hear about these records when they get equalled or broken. And we only ever hear Andy Cole's name mentioned when those records get equalled or broken. I've seen people doing like top 10 lists of Premier League strikers and not even putting him in it. I don't understand that. I think he's in like 4th or something in the all-time Premier League goal-scoring record. And look at how many titles he's won. I think Andy Cole deserves more respect. We had him on the channel a few years ago. One of my favourite ever interviews I've done ever. And he was speaking about that, how you only ever hear about his name, you only ever hear about his records when someone's equaling it or breaking it. And I think we need to put a little bit more respect on Andy Cole's name. Don't forget, he got those records without scoring any penalties as well. Those 47 goal involvements he had, yes, there might have been more games, but he didn't take any penalties. So I'm just a little aside there. I think we need to start remembering a bit more about Andy Cole and just how great he was. Just on Viktor Gyokeres, because where would we be without a Viktor Gyokeres story? Sporting did the double this weekend. He's obviously been smashing in the goals all season. Did it last season as well. We expect him to leave Sporting. Is he going to come to Manchester United? I don't think so. The Evening News running a story on this today. I don't think he's going to come to Manchester United. I think that despite the fact that obviously he knows Ruben Amorim, despite the fact that we do need a goal scorer, I just don't see it happening. I think he's going to want to play Champions League football. I think there's other clubs that are interested in him. There has been some hints that maybe someone like Arsenal could come in for him. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe he goes to Arsenal, maybe he goes elsewhere. Listen, I love Viktor Gyokeres at Manchester United. I think he's a fantastic footballer, an amazing goal scorer. Is he going to come though? I don't think so. It'd be great if he did. But watch this space. We will keep you posted, as always, if we end up getting Viktor Gyokeres, if we end up buying Liam Delap, who's another name that's been more heavily linked with us than Gyokeres, or anyone else. We're going to be back later on today with the Paddock podcast. Also this week, we've got some friendlies, aren't we? Manchester United over in the Far East, so we're going to be covering those games as well. So if you're not doing so already, make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. And go and check out some of the other videos we've got on the channel. We've got the reaction from yesterday's game as well. Plus, on the member section this week, we're going to have all the behind-the-scenes vlog from our trip to Bilbao. I said I wasn't going to mention Bilbao. Forgive me, I've lied. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. I've been Jay Motti. This has been the Paper Talk outside a quite mild Old Trafford. Thanks for watching.